People's Supermarket is a social enterprise cooperative store. Our aim is to actually bring healthy, good value food to a local community. The cooperative bit of all of that speech actually means that we have members, people who join us. They give us £25 a month, they get a 10% discount, but most importantly for us is they give us 4 hours of their time every month to help run the supermarket. They also, within that wonderful package, get a vote, a democratic say in how their store should be run. So they can vote on things like whether or not we sell cigarettes, what kind of alcohol we sell, who our suppliers are, what our margins are, and they're totally engaged in that food dominated part of the business. And that's what makes us really successful. It started from actually a chance meeting with myself and a guy called Arthur Potts-Dawson, who is a fairly well-known celebrity eco-warrior chefy type person. And he had a dream about bringing good food into a London community, and my dream was actually about using something that I know lots about, which is retail, but actually to drive social change. And so when you get those two ideas together, that's what the supermarket actually aims to do. The big challenges for us have been actually raising funds. That has been really, really difficult. It took us a while as well to find a property, because as everybody will know, properties this size, the size of a supermarket, tend to be owned by one of the big four. However, we had a really fantastic and supportive landlord who wanted us on this street, because actually saw the value of having something independent, something quirky, and that would actually make a difference. So, having got the shop, we then had to raise the money, and that was very, very difficult to do. And what we actually worked out since is we raised £150,000 worth in cash, hard cash. We probably got about £500,000 worth of pro-bono skills given to us from corporations, people who have experts that can actually make things happen for us. And without that kind of support, we wouldn't even be here today. We have 3 types of people who work for us. So we have standard employees. What we're really proud of is those 17 employees all started life as members and they were all unemployed. So we've in fact in the last year created 17 new jobs, which is a tremendous achievement.
Well, I was sent here by the job centre on a work placement. I'm here for 4 weeks. This is my second day and I'm loving it. And I can't believe I'm here because I saw this on TV and I didn't think it was real. A supermarket run by the local people, for the people. That's the slogan. And I'm working here and it's great. Even though the placement's only for 4 weeks, that doesn't mean I can still continue coming here. I've spoken to management and they say I can come as much as I want to whilst I'm looking for work. And obviously, if I do the job correctly, I'll have a good reference. And it get me back into training, back into the workforce. Because it's horrible being unemployed. People tend to think that when you're unemployed you don't do anything and it's not true. So I'm really happy to be here. It's incentive, routine and working with people and nice people.
We also then have volunteers. So these could be people who just come in off the street. We've got a couple of free hours today. Can we come and help in the supermarket? Or they could be people with people allied to certain organisations. So they could be people seeking work, wanting to do voluntary work to increase their skills. They could be people wanting to learn social skills because they happen to come from places like MenCap or the Medical Foundation for the Victims of Torture. Those are volunteers. And then we obviously have our members. And one of the joys is we have over 1,100 members now. And every 4 hours we get a different group of people coming in. So every 4 hours we have a whole new set of ideas, we have a whole new set of training problems, we have a whole new group of people who say, let's do it this way, which is absolutely fantastic, a bit tiring. And it just adds to, the vibe in the place. You walk in and people are always smiling. It's their shop, it really is, they own it, they're a shareholder, they're a member, but equally it represents them. So they know where things are because that's where they put them.
Been coming here for, I think, pretty well since the beginning and was a member a couple of months into it. Obviously great because it supports the local community. My boyfriend's father is a farmer, so I know how messed around that they actually get by most of the industry. So it was really refreshing that, it works for everybody. It works for the farmers, it takes out the middlemen. We get great fruit and veg, and having that on my doorstep is absolutely fantastic. So if I don't have to go to one of the big supermarkets, I really don't want to.
We're working really hard with our products. So we actually sell brand names. So you're buying Heinz, you'll find Nestle on our counters. But we also work hard to buy what we call sort of the premium, the top tier range. But what makes us really different is that premium range doesn't carry a premium price. Because what we're trying to do is, as we keep saying, is to provide this range of food that is healthy, that is ethically or sustainably sourced for people, particularly in an urban environment like we are in the centre of London, to actually make it available. And so we actively go out. We've got 32 small independent suppliers, whether they be, Frank, who brings us 9 jars of honey in his plastic bag because that's all he can carry, to somebody like Suma Foods, who are one of the largest cooperative grocery suppliers.
The pricing has always been a contentious issue because, it's finding the right balance, so that there's cheap and affordable food, and at the same time that we can have the best produce as well and pay the farmers and, the producers a really good wage. So the balance is being that, there'll be the top end organic products, there'll be some lower end sort of like bargain prices, and then probably in between sort of the best selling brands, and that seems to make everybody quite happy. Obviously, as a member, I get an additional 10% off that, which is fantastic, and it does actually add up.
And I come to Mary Ward Centre to take classes, and so then after the class I come here and shop. And I think the produce is fantastic, it's really fresh and very, very good. And I really like the idea as well, the principle of it. So I want to support it, so that's why I come here.
One of the things that we sort of believe in is that food has a value. And actually, one of the issues for us is that the large supermarkets actually encourage you to throw away food, whether that be buy one, get one free, whether that be if it's less than perfect, then actually they don't want to sell it. Or if it's less than perfect, they don't want you to buy it because they always want to sell beautifully round, crisp, nice, shiny things. What we do is when things go a little bit past that level, so the squidgy tomatoes, the slightly wilted spinach, I tend to call it the bottom of the fridge.
Probably about September last year, and I was just sort of walking past the shop, and I think it was just opening then. And I started off as a member volunteer, and I did quite a few voluntary hours last year. And then during that time, since then, I've kind of started coming in and doing more and more shifts, and I've actually sort of got a kind of part paid, part voluntary position at the supermarket now, sort of turning the waste into good food. The idea is that we use produce that is kind of coming to the end of its shelf life, and it's usually sort of the fruit and veg, which is a little bit bruised, a little bit soft. We get given that, and it kind of changes on a daily basis. So you can come in and you don't really know what you're going to be handed, and you just come up with stuff on the hoof. Usually it kind of turns out okay. We've got some classic things like lasagnas and pasta bakes and pies and salads and things like that, which we kind of do. We can do with any ingredients that we get.
It's shocking. It really is quite upsetting when you think about how much the supermarkets throw away. There's so many people that are starving in the world.
We find it interesting, the big four, how people respond to us with the big four supermarkets, because they say, are you competitive on price? Over 70% of our products are actually price competitive, and actually we have a core range of products that we know are actually better value, better price. When it comes down then to things like quality, about the ethics, about the morals of where you buy things, then actually we say we do beat them. What we're trying to do is not actually put them out of business. What we want to do is get them to think about how they operate. So I'd rather like us to be sort of that annoying itch scratch in their view of the world, and actually start making them challenge themselves to say, what do we do better, rather than seeing us as direct competition. Because if Mr. Tesco's wanted to, he could take us out tomorrow.
Well, the way that people have come together to sort of get this thing going, and even during sort of the tough few months that we've had earlier this year, there's sort of a real spirit to everyone, and I feel that I've kind of can play a part, and part of a bigger sort of social exercise as well. It's not just sort of a shop, it's people coming together and working for the community and learning from each other as well.
Social enterprise is an organisation that makes a profit. The key difference is what it does with the profit at the end. So a normal company will give its profit to its shareholders or to reinvest into the company. What we do is our profit goes back to the community in which we are, which are 1,100 members, or into any of the outreach bits of work we do, helping the unemployed, helping the disabled, helping people read, whatever. It's really interesting, this word or phrase, the big society, that government talk about, because we actually think we were doing it before they came along and said, look, aren't they great? These people are actually doing it. So we have a dilemma there. But it's lovely, it's great to think that we're being supported by some of the major politicians in the country, and we just hope we can lever some of that influence to help us do more bigger and greater things.